from the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD. This is a Carolina Week election special.
Good evening and welcome to this special student government elections edition of Carolina Week. I'm Elizabeth Tew.
And I'm Susanna Black. Thanks for joining us. During the next hour or so, we'll profile the candidates for student body president and senior class officers runoff.
And we'll have the results to you as soon as the Board of Elections has tabulated them.
Life experience is something all three candidates for student body president bring to the table, but some have more than others. And Houston Summers says his journey to Carolina gives him a unique perspective for uniting the university. Emily Mann reports.
At 27, Houston Summers is the oldest candidate on tonight's ballot. But his desire to run for office goes way back.
So my dream to become a student body president actually, I guess, could be traced all the way back to when I was diagnosed with a tumor when I was 11 years old.
Using that experience as his inspiration, he's pursuing a career in medicine, starting with his studies at UNC. But that's not the only thing that sets Summers apart from his competition. He also spent 7 years playing professional baseball. It's there, he says, he learned the importance of leadership.
Being around truly great leaders, people that understand how to build a team, people that understand how to relate to individuals on a more personal level, that's what I've gained.
If he's elected, he says he'll use this perspective to build an effective team for his administration. His platform, uniting the student body to facilitate important conversations, moving the university in a positive direction for the next generation.
One Carolina really came from this idea of making sure that we're all at the table, that we're all moving the same direction, that we celebrate our differences, and that we advocate for those that are being left out of the conversation.
The key to that, he says, is getting more student voices heard. Focusing on affordability, athletics reform, and innovation, Summers' platform relies heavily upon cooperation and conversation.
I think the goal for us is really making sure that everyone is at the table, that everyone has a voice, and that we're all moving together in a positive light as one.
Last week, Summers took 35.6% of the vote, forcing a runoff election with opponent Catherine Walker. Since then, he's received a growing list of endorsements from campus groups. But will that be enough to bring him a victory tonight? In Chapel Hill, I'm Emily Mann reporting.
Has gotten a lot of ribbing about his age, so he's embraced it. He put up a video of himself reading mean tweets about him, which I have to add has gotten over 2,000 views, such as Houston Summers, aka Mr. Steal Yo Mom. Finally, we have a candidate that understands colon health. And our favorite, how are you going to be a varsity athlete, run the school, and be a father to your son? Save your complex much? Hashtag take your kid to work day. And now Houston Summers joins us live in the studio.
Houston, can you tell us how this past week has been for you and your campaign?
Yeah, it's been such a rush. It's been a fantastic week. There's been a lot of work. The snow gave us, a little bit of a breather the past couple of days. We took some time off to honor the victims of last week, and that was also a time for us to reflect and take a little time off. But the campaign aspect of it has been a lot of fun, and it's been a fun rush so far, and looking forward to the results this evening.
How do you want to continue Andrew Powell's tradition of innovation at UNC?
I think that's a fantastic question, and we've really built on, in our platform, built on what Andrew has done and actually changing the physical space of the classroom to better accommodate the blended learning models that Andrew has put in place. I think redesigning classrooms is a big step in the right direction to continue to promote what Andrew has done recently.
Now, when it comes to affordability, you believe that focusing just on the cost of tuition is one-sided. Instead, you would like to focus on the cost of both housing and food. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in fact, I don't even know that that's half the issue. Over half the cost of coming to Carolina for an in-state student is the cost of living, and for out-of-state students, it's a little less than that. So we really want to work to implement some town models that we can go into more detail about later, and provide those to students as well as faculty members to decrease the cost of living at our university.
If you come out with a win tonight, what are you most excited about?
Absolutely, it's the fact that we have so many incredible individuals coming together from all different parts of campus, all over the spectrum, working for a common goal, and that's simply bettering Carolina. That's been the most fulfilling aspect of this entire campaign, is seeing everyone come together for a common good.
All right, Houston Summers live in the studio. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Today was the last day for campaigning. Snow or shine, some runoff candidates spent time in the pit in an attempt to gather those last-minute votes. But after tonight, we will have a new SVP. Two candidates remain after last week's runoff election. Catherine Walker and Houston Summers will find out tonight who will take office next year. Summers was in the lead last week with 36.5% of the votes, Walker with 23.6%.
During the past couple years, the role of student body president has been a boys' club. But this year, Catherine Walker says there ain't no mountain high enough to keep her from getting elected. Our AJ Nwoko has the story.
Campaign slogan, Carolina Together in action.
What I'm trying to do is really bring Carolina together and make sure that there is student representation for all students within student government and take care of the disconnect that has happened within student government and between student government and students and really bring students back into student government.
Walker says it all starts with communication.
To handle communication, I would like the School of Journalism and Mass Communication to come in and do a communication audit of student government. So essentially that would tell us exactly what we're doing wrong and how we can fix it.
And with her platform, Walker believes that she can fix those problems.
I'm running on a platform of unity, safety, and affordability. So unity through a campus leadership council that brings together sectors of campus together on student government and holds the student body president accountable. And then safety through a strong sexual assault prevention policy, and affordability is through keeping not only tuition low for all students, but making sure that the college life is affordable.
And on another issue, Walker says she understands more has to be done concerning diversity.
I'm a white, middle-class, straight female, and I'm the most diversity we have running this year. That's a problem. We need to make sure that students of diversity feel like they have an opportunity to run.
And Walker says she finds her motivation to campaign in a 1960s classic.
Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Diana Ross version. Now, I have a lot of respect for Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, but if you listen to the Diana Ross version, it pumps you up and makes you laugh at the same time. It's the ultimate motivational song.
So whether she wins or loses, as with the words of the song, Walker vows she'll be there when you need her, some way, somehow. In Chapel Hill, I'm AJ Nwoko.
Walker says although she can't guarantee she'll get elected, her parents will take her out for cheese fries no matter the outcome. Now Catherine joins us live in the studio. How do you feel about tonight?
I am just incredibly humbled by this entire experience. To have made it this far, we were very fortunate, and to have been able to speak to so many different groups on campus and get their support and get their opinions and form friendships that I'll have for the rest of my time here at Carolina has been a wonderful experience.
I would love for you to talk to us about some of your ideas for LFIT reconstruction.
Sure. So first of all, I don't think that a 20-minute module is enough for sexual assault to address that problem. So I want to make LFIT classes not just about nutrition and fitness, but about personal safety, personal health, and incorporating one-act training and safe zone trainings and sexual assault prevention into LFIT classes.
What motivated you to run?
I think what motivated me to run was my experience in student government. I saw a lot of the great work that we were doing, but also saw that students didn't really know about it, and that there were a lot of people who slipped through the cracks in projects that we started and didn't complete. So I saw the problems within student government, and I wanted to fix them.
And how do you plan to have communication with the university going forward if you were to be elected?
Communication, well, first of all, I want to fix communication with students by having PR majors in the School of Journalism come in and do a communication audit in which they address all of the problems we have and tell them how to fix it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Catherine, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
We all know the student body president election is in a runoff. The three candidates in the race last week collectively didn't get 100% of the vote. That's because some ballots came back with a name we weren't expecting. Hurston referencing writer Zora Neale Hurston. and students wrote in that name exactly 403 times on the SPP ballot. That's 10% of the vote. Hurston attended UNC classes in secret before the university admitted African Americans. Her name has come up before during protests to rename Saunders Hall to Hurston Hall. This time it symbolized some students' dissatisfaction with the choice of SPP candidates.
With 60% of the students on this.
We're going to break. Thanks for tuning in. Stay with us.
Week's election night coverage. The SPP race isn't the only contest on the ballot. Let's go live to Kristen Lee in our newsroom. Kristen, our coverage tonight is brought to you in pairs. 2 SPP candidates and 2 pairs of senior class officer candidates.
2 pairs of senior class candidates remain in the race to be next year's 2 senior class officers. No team received 50% of the vote, which is why we're having the runoff election. We'll have those results for you live in this newscast tonight, and let me tell you, this one is a close race. Kat Leopold and Max Williams are the front runners, receiving 37.2% of the vote in last week's election. Trailing about 3 points behind is the second team on the runoff ballot, Brent McKnight and Ying Lin. Randolph McKinney and Ajeen Robinson Burris received 19.8% of the vote, and therefore they're not on the ballot tonight. So what do senior class officers do? Here's a quick recap for you. The 2 teams on the ballot are competing to bring a memorable senior year to the class of 2016. Class officers organize social events like fundraisers and bar nights. And so let's introduce you to the first team. We're going to talk about Kat Leopold and Max Williams. Their idea for the senior class next year is to implement Senior Story Time, a monthly event where seniors would share their stories. Leopold is from Chevy Chase, Maryland. He's a global studies major. Williams is from Cincinnati, Ohio, majoring in peace, war, and defense with a double major in Arabic and business. Next up, Brent McKnight and Ying Lin. They're running with the campaign motto, work hard, play hard, serve hard. If elected, they hope to increase participation in charity events such as Dance Marathon and Habitat for Humanity. They also want to host Joy Prom, a prom for special needs children. The idea is that members of the student class would be prom dates for students with special needs. McKnight and Lin are both natives of the Tar Heel State, McKnight from Charlotte and Lin from Winston-Salem. Lin is a double major in business and global studies. McKnight is a double major in history and global studies with a minor in philosophy and political science and econ. Elizabeth, back to you.
Kristen Lee live in our newsroom with a roundup of the senior class officer candidates. Thanks, Kristen.
Now we go back to reporter Ben Smart at the Board of Elections. Ben, do we have the results?
Hey there, Susanna. I'm live at the Board of Elections with Alex Piasecki, the chair of the Board of Elections. Alex, do you have those results we've all been waiting for?
We do.
All right, after a long week of runoff campaigning, we have the winners of this year's election campaign.
Okay, so for our senior class officers, Ying Lin and Brent McKnight will win with 51.2% of the vote. For RHA president, we have Taylor Bates winning with 52.6% of the vote. And our next student body president will be Houston Summers with 64.8% of the vote.
There you have it, folks, the winner of this year's election runoff. Alex, how was voter turnout this year?
Voter turnout was a little less than it was this past year, but we also had some inclement weather, which we tried to adapt for, but it's still obviously a bit of a detriment to our end voting.
So what are next steps for the winning candidates in this election?
So next steps, they actually have to turn in their financial statements to show how much they actually spent on this campaign before they become officially indoctrinated into their positions. And that's the next step for them. And then finally, just trying to learn the duties of their job. And I wish them the best, and I wish all the candidates the best. Thank you so much for a great campaign.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks so much.
Yep.
All right, guys, there you have it, the winner of this year's election. Back to you guys in the studio.
And now the student body president for the 2015-2016 school year, Houston Summers.
Houston, congratulations.
Thanks.
How does it feel?
It's a really exciting experience, and it's great. I'm want to take a little time and reflect on that. But right now I'm super excited and, honored really to be able to serve our student body in this coming year.
Coming into Carolina the way that you did you ever see this as part of your plan?
No, no chance. Someone asked me the question earlier today, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? So I honestly have no idea. I just try to wake up every day and, attack the opportunities that I've been given and make the most out of them. And I honestly, if even 8-10 months ago, I don't know if this was something that I really saw coming, but it's really exciting and it's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to this opportunity.
I think that's a pretty good attitude to have about it. What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge coming forward? Do you foresee anything?
I think the idea of really getting buy-in for all students across campus, that I'm truly going to be there to speak on their behalf and to stand up for the issues that our student body really believes in. That's my goal and that's my passion, is making sure that everyone that walks into this campus feels safe and is comfortable here and is in a position to succeed.
Where do you go from here, from tonight?
That's a good question. First we're going to watch the Duke game and have some fun with that. And then outside of that, we're going to take a step back and evaluate and work on building a solid team that's going to serve our student body in the most comprehensive way in the coming year.
And speaking of a solid team, you've had a great team with a lot of diversity on your team too. Do you think that helped you at all in this election?
Oh, absolutely it did, and that's the goal, is bringing the best from every different group on Carolina to a student government that is in communication with those individuals, that talks, that knows, knows the heartbeat and continues to move forward. So absolutely.
So the semester is coming to a close. What do you do during the summer to prepare for next year?
So I'm gonna spend a lot of time with the current administration. I'm gonna continue to work with our coaching staff, with members of the administration, and begin to develop and solidify relationships with the Board of Trustees and Board of Governors to make sure that when we do start next year, that we hit the ground running and that we already have projects underway. So really just being proactive into leading up to what's going to come in the fall semester.
Thank you for joining us, Houston.
Absolutely.
And again,
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, just to recap, your new student body president is Houston Summers.
All right. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us for our special elections coverage on Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.